I think it's important also for foreign Black people to recognize that all of this is because of foundational Black Americans and have an appreciation for it. To assume that, like, because if you were raised like I was raised, there is this stigma that you hear within our communities about foundational Black Americans, and then we come here and then we use the same rhetoric that white people use, and we are used as these like models of like models of like, well, if they can do it, why can't you guys? And I think at the end of the day, we should be really, really cognizant of the fact that we're here because of them. Foundational Black Americans are the only group that held America to its promise of civil rights. So I think it's very actually disrespectful to assume we're all the same, because then you get used as, an example.
For what it's worth, I'll treat you the same. Like I treat my melanin colored folk. I treat them the same. You know what I'm saying? It's anybody that's American, anybody that's international. You know what I'm saying? Because whenever the shit go down or they yell us out on the radio, they're gonna say black male, black. They're gonna group us all together. So I got your back.
It doesn't matter how other people see you who are outside of you. It depends on what you guys see because you're inside. Just like nobody's going to know the difference between a Korean and a Chinese man because we're outsiders. Right. But people inside, you guys know the difference. Just like an American white person, you cannot say that they are the same thing as a Swedish person. And they look the same. They have the same physiology. We wouldn't be able to tell the difference, but they're not the same.
Right.
Oh, shit.
And for reasons that, like, we know why. We know that what the Atlantic slave trade did. So
there goes the neighborhood. They done brought the Kenny ass up here.
But is he saying that the Atlantic slave trade went to Jamaica as well? You do know that, right?
No, you don't.
I mean,
you guys don't know shit about slave trade. You're just talking about the things they told you. You don't know nothing. You don't know any crap about slave trade. You're just reading the white man's book.
Before you talk, Kenny, you need to get rid of that receding widow's peak.
Oh, yeah. Of course, I'm Nigerian, but I got to tell. But you see, this is what I try to tell folks, right? Before you start saying what they taught you, you have to ask questions. Because number one, everybody on this earth knows that everything that the white man does is what favors him. He tells the story the way it favors him, just like the white man is committing suicide and committing genocide in Gaza today. 40, 50 years from now, he's going to tell the story different. He's going to say it's all those people fought. You see what I'm saying? So before you start talking about slave trade, you have to know how slave trade happened. I think I've told you guys the story before, but you just want to talk your bull crap and your talking point just to make a point.
Okay.
And I keep telling you that black people, both in Nigeria and America, are one of the most foolish people on earth. Europeans bound together, even no matter how much they hate themselves, they still bound together to fuck other people up. But we know how to mess ourselves up. We don't know how to band together to fight other people. What we do, both men and women, is to fight each other because guess what? It's easy for black people to tear each other down than to unite and fight the world. We're not good at it. That's the freaking thing about us. We're not united. And we're the most easiest people to divide on earth.
Was we united before we was sold into slavery?
Nobody sold your ass in the slavery, and nobody sold your great grandfather in the slavery. Do you want me to tell you how it happened? If you want, I can tell you how it happened. Because you don't know.
Before we were captured, were we united?
Uncle.
Guess what? You said what?
Before we were captured, were we united?
We were always united.
Why y'all ain't bring y'all united ass?
No. I will tell you how united we were.
Now, nigga on a canoe came to pick us the fuck up.
No, they can't pick you up. They can't pick you up. Guess what?
Bullshit, man.
I got. Okay.
Sweeney, you know what they did when they saw us leaving? Fuck it.
Okay,
Like,
let
come
me
on,
let me.
bro. Man,
If you sarcastic about it, then I don't have to say anything. But if you want to know what happened, then I can tell you, and you
Oh,
got to
okay.
give me
Oh,
two
okay. My bad.
minutes.
My bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But if you're sarcastic about it, then there is no need to talk about it because you're just being
All right. Go ahead.
sarcastic.
Go ahead. Straight up. Straight
But
up. Go ahead.
let me say this: Africa was united because Africa was very, 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 very comfortable with what they had. That is why what we did mostly was exploration. We explored the world. We went to places. We changed universe. We went all the way from south among the west of African coast all the way to Egypt and beyond. That's what we did. We developed civilizations as we went. We built Mali. We built the richest man on earth. We built the richest kingdoms on earth. We developed Spain. We developed Italy. We built those places. It's in our history. We went there to build Europe. Africa built Europe. But guess what happened?
you don't
In
get to
our comfort,
you
they
don't get to
came
take
because
let alone blame on
the
the
only thing that
nation of the
European man
world.
knows, Sweeney, give me a minute, brother.
You said
The
in
only
our
thing that
comfort.
You
the
can't
only thing
know.
that
You do
the
not get
only
to
thing that
you do not
European man
understand
knows is
the
one
element
thing:
of the world,
is to
bro.
steal. Because they've always been criminals. All they do was to steal, steal, steal. They've always been like that. That is why the city of London was the most dirtiest place. So this is how it happened. When they came to Africa, this is how it happened. They came to Africa, right? African men are taller and stronger. We've always been like that. But the Arab man was the one that told the white man that there is gold in Africa because Mansa Musa took gold and went to Mecca.
Yeah.
On his way to Mecca, he destroyed the Arab economy. So the Arabs didn't want to come and rob Africa because Mansa Musa was Muslim. If they come to Africa to rob Africa, guess what? They will be indicted because guess what? They don't even care about the religion. They just using the religion to make money. You know what they did? Just like just like they've always done in life, they contacted the Europeans to go do the dots. The Europeans came and stole and invaded Mali. This was 900 years ago. They invaded Mali. When they invaded Mali, they loot Mali, only to find out that, hold on a minute, the gold that the Arabs told them to come and steal wasn't just the only gold. There is far beyond gold in this continent. So when they came, they never left.
You guys were enslaving yourselves before Arabs even got there.
Africa, okay, let me tell you a story because
Look at
Mira,
this
let me tell you
bullshit.
this, right? Africa never had slaves. Arabs have always had
That's a
slaves throughout
fucking
life.
Wait,
lie.
so you're telling me that the kingdoms
Sweeney,
that killed
Sweeney,
that went to
Sweeney,
war, they
Sweeney.
didn't take the other
Number
people?
one, Sweeney,
It's
you have
different.
no African studies whatsoever. You don't even know any goddamn thing about
I
Africa.
know y'all sold us.
Guess what? If you want me to tell you how
Go
you were
ahead.
sold, do you want me to tell you how you were sold, or you want to tell me
You
we sold
textile.
you?
No.
Which one do
We
you
You
want
want?
you to.
You want
Hold
me
on.
to tell you
Hang
from
on.
an African
nobody come
perspective?
over
Why
there and
don't you?
steal
Hold
us.
on. Why don't you tell us how we were put on these ships in large like that?
Okay, good. And that's where I'm heading to. And
No,
this is
I
how.
just want you to go there.
And this, I gave you history of how it came down. And this is what happened. This is how you were sold. When the Portuguese came to Africa,
Thank you. Jewish. Yep.
600 years ago, guess what they saw? Because the Europeans were skinning. They couldn't walk. They came to Africa in search of spies. Just like as African has ever done. We never enslaved anyone. What we did is that we had what they call servants. And
Houseboys
in
in Europe.
Africa, if you are a servant, you have to stay with your master for 7 years.
Yeah.
After 7 years, your master has to settle you with a land and marry you a wife.
You
Right.
still have not told us
That's,
how we wind up
excuse me,
on ships
Sweeney,
in America.
Sweeney, let me tell you something. If you don't want to hear me, bro,
I'm
you
not
can just
trying
have the
to
floor.
Yeah, but
get
what you're
Keep
past the
doing,
going.
bullshit. Get
what
to
you're
the
doing
part
is
where
I'm
get
telling
to
you
the
how it
part
happened
where
now.
we
we're
wound up
asking you,
on
And
the
how did
bottom
they
of ships.
load so
and
many slaves
and
We'll
this
all
get
and
through
this is
there.
and
to the
this is
mark?
and this is I'm telling you how the Portuguese, because the Portuguese was the one that started slave trade, right? So when the Portuguese came, they then, in search of spies, found out that these men are tall and bigger. They asked Africans, the chiefs, we need servants. that can cultivate in our farmyard. Just like your custom, after 7 years, we'll let them go. But guess what? They gave them they said, okay, they gave them the best of their men. These are giants. Do you think Africa is going to sell giants? Why on earth do you think Africa will sell the best of their best?
What?
Now you're asking us a question, but you haven't answered that.
No, I'm telling you the thing. They tricked us. Guess what? They tricked us. They took our own people in the name of they need servants.
They tricked us
Instead,
to getting
they
on that
took
boat
them.
and planking like that.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm
What the
telling you how it
brothers,
happened. I'm telling you how it happened.
brother,
So
real quick.
these guys, it's just like somebody that came to buy something from you and then tells you that, you know what, can you please allow your cousin to work in my farmyard?
And that
And
boy
guess
said, "Yeah, I go." And that boy went down in the bottom and laid down on
and
flat.
get no. Let me tell you. So what they did, they allowed them to have them, but what they didn't know, once these people are out of vicinity, the treatment was different because guess what? We didn't have internet, we didn't have television, so we didn't know what was happening beyond our purview, right? Then when Africa found out in 1868, of what was going, by then there is printing press. It was the printing press that let Africa know that actually these people are being enslaved. And African kings and the rest of the world fought to stop slavery. That is the slave abolishment that they did. Because Africa said, no, we're not giving you anybody because we heard that you guys are enslaving our people. So when Mira said Africa is slaving, no, Mira, Arabs have been slaving people for the past 3,000 years. They are not
And
under.
they're still doing it. And they're still doing it.
Look at what the Arabs are doing in Libya today. Look at what they are doing to
Exactly.
Africans
And
in
they're still
Libya.
doing it.
I never
And they're
denied
still
it.
doing it.
But don't
And they're
think you
still doing
guys
it.
Look at what they
can't.
are doing in Dubai.
You
Look at what the
guys
Arabs are
can't.
doing in Dubai.
When they
still
found
Come on,
out,
doing
Mira,
it.
why would you
when they
talk like that?
hold on, what?
You're
So
not
when they
on.
found out through the
My
printing
Nigerian
press
great
that they were
grandfather sold
slaving our
slaves.
people,
Nigerian
did they come
journalist
over
and
there to
novelist.
retrieve the people?
You said what?
When they found out through the printing press, hey, these
Yes.
guys are actually enslaving our people. Did they
Yes.
go over there to retrieve the people?
Okay, I will now answer that question 2 ways. Number one, Africa cannot retrieve him because you got to go to war with the West to retrieve him. You
So
see what
y'all
I'm
the
saying? No. You can guess what, man? Guess
Straight
what,
like
King
that.
Queenie?
So y'all was
In your
Straight
condescending
like that.
attitude,
What
you
does
can
America
call
do?
any name you
What does
want.
America
That's
do
fine.
when we have a fallen soldier or a POW, a prisoner of war? We going to go get that.
Listen. Okay,
We
so
gonna go
when you
send
have
something in exchange for that motherfucker. They didn't
so
send
when
out
you have
they didn't send a goddamn Christmas card.